Hello, everyone. Welcome to our special webinar for the day. And before we dive into the session, I would quickly like to understand if my voice is audible to all of you. So if I'm audible, please do type a yes in the chat box. And also talking about this chat box, I would request you to post all your questions for the day in the chat box so that we could address them by end of the session out there. And as a lot of you are new to Galvanize, and I see a lot of them are still joining the session, I would quickly like to run through a little bit about Galvanize as to who we are and what exactly we do. And to begin with, well, Galvanize has been helping students right from their baby step, for higher education, that I would say is, wherein you, with respect to preparing for the tests like GRE, IELTS, TOEFL, SAT. And not only that, Galvanize has team of experts helping students for their bachelor's, master's, and doctorate degree. And what happens here is basically where, we help right from their basic documentation process, understanding your profile, guiding you with the right universities, helping you with SOP, LOR, and many more such activities that comes in. And not to forget, Galvanize is at your back for your last minute assistance with respect to helping you connect with the right loan providers and many such other activities. Well, we are very happy and proud to share that Galvanize is actually founded and managed by alumni from top universities like Stanford, Harvard, IIT Madras, and IIM Ahmedabad. As you could see, a lot of countries are mentioned here, and we take immense pleasure in sharing that Galvanize has been chosen from, for their education abroad across 65 plus countries out there, whether it could be a test preparation, admission services. We have students across the globe out there. And not only that, we have placed our students across 1,000 plus universities across 18 plus countries out there. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you would be seeing your dream destination out there on my screen. And we would be really glad to help you get into your dream university out there. Well, I won't take your time much here, but I would quickly share the links in the chat box, and I would urge you to take a look at the threads. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you are quite, much on Quora for various reasons to get the right source of information out there. And these two links talk about students sharing their experience with respect to how it's been with Galvanize, either for the test prep or for the admission services. And yes, of course, we do have a mobile applications. And if you haven't used it, please do take a look at the mobile applications. And I will be sharing the link in the chat box. As you could see, the ratings as well. These applications are quite handy. They are quite fun because you would be learning, but with ease, and a lot of pictorial representations and many more such things, which I won't discuss, but I would request you to take a look at the mobile applications and start using them. Well, it's time for me to run the first poll for the day, wherein I would quickly like to understand how familiar are you with the application process? Because in this session, we're going to talk about the application process as well. Great. I see a couple of you are somewhat familiar. Okay. Great. So I see major of you are somewhat familiar with the application process, and I'm pretty sure by end of the session, you would feel a little bit confident and to kickstart your journey out there. And with that, I would quickly like to end my poll. Moving forward, I would also like to talk, what do we have for today's attendees? So this is something exciting, and we do have 30% off on our admission counseling services for attendees of the webinar who would be there. And if you would like to make use of this offer, I would request you to stay throughout the session, so that we will be sharing the link by end of the session in the chat box out there. And yes, of course, we have our very, very famous and very important profile evaluation as well. And I will be sharing the link for the profile evaluation. Please note, these offers would be there till 11 September. So make the best use of it. And I'm pretty sure after the session, you will be making the best use of the offers out there. Moving forward, a little bit about your host for today's webinar, your go-to-go person. We have with us our very own Raghuveer Krishna, who is the senior university admission expert. And a little bit about Raghuveer. He did his MBA in marketing and finance. Also, he worked in the UK for one of the top international banks out there prior to joining with Galvanize. And he has 17 plus years of experience across the fields out there, may it be admission counseling, business development, communication, business consultancy, marketing, a lot of things. And with us, he's been counseling students over 6+ years out there. And at Galvanize, he's handling the admission process for MS, MBA, and PhD out there. And trust me, he's very, very famous among students out there. And you will feel more confident when you hear him out today on the session. And with that, I would request Raghuvi to please start with the session. Hello, Raghuveer, you're on mute.
Hi, Ramya. Thank you so much. Am I audible to you, Ramya?
Yes, Raghuveer, you're audible now.
Okay, so good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone who has joined this webinar session. So I really appreciate you guys taking time. Okay, so on a weekend evening to join this session. So thank you so much. So and Ramya, thank you so much for the quick intro about myself. So guys, today, like what we are going to discuss about is the admission process, how you can navigate through this admission process. So in this, we are going to discuss like what aspects you can actually consider. Okay, so before deciding to study abroad. So just in case if there are some people out here, okay, so who are still speculating whether to go abroad for higher studies or not. So I will share you some insights like why you need to go abroad for your higher studies. And then we are going to discuss about based on what factors you can choose your study abroad destinations and how to choose your destinations. And then what does university consider in your application in order to consider you for an admit? And then we are going to talk about some of the components that are required to support your application process. And of course, I'm going to share some insights on how Galvanize as a team can work with you in order to help you to reach your study destinations. And also, I'm going to throw some light on how the most important factor on how you can fund your higher studies. So, Ramya, my screen is visible to everyone, right?
Yes, Raghuveer, it's quite visible. Yeah.
Great. Okay, and I'm pretty audible only, right?
Yes.
Great. So, so students, so I put across some of my perspectives on why you need to consider to study abroad. Okay, so global exposure, the emphasis on practical training, technology, the diverse fields, job opportunities, and attractive compensation. So these are some of the important factors that you can consider. So for me personally, okay, there are two important things. So one is academics, okay, and another is the compensation you're going to get after your studies, whether it's an undergraduate program or a postgraduate program. Okay, and the global exposure is a part of it. Okay, so where you will get a chance to understand the values, beliefs of students coming from other countries. Okay, but the two important factors is going to be academics and another is going to be your compensation. Okay, so that is the job opportunities you guys can get after your higher studies abroad. And when it comes to academics, okay, so a major of the population which goes abroad for higher studies are from developing countries like India. Okay, and when you look at academics, okay, so in India or other developing countries, the curriculum focuses more towards theoretical learning. Whereas, okay, so when you step outside, okay, abroad, the curriculum emphasizes more on practical learning. And more importantly, the diverse fields, okay, so the variety of majors that you can specialize in. Okay, and a lot of these developing countries, okay, so are able to provide some of the popular majors like computer science, mechanical engineering, or electrical engineering. But in countries like in the UK or in the US, so if you're very keen to specialize in a particular area, say, for example, artificial intelligence or machine learning, or maybe data science, okay, so you have that opportunity to pick those programs as your majors. Okay, and more importantly, students who are interested in research. Okay, so the kind of research facilities, resources you're going to be provided with in countries like in the US or UK, Canada, or other European countries. Okay, so it's going to be immense, because the kind of funds they put into for research activities is immense when compared to the funds that developing countries allocate for research and development. And most importantly, the last thing is going to be the compensation. Okay, I will just give you a quick example and we'll move to the next slide. Okay, so say for example, you're earning a 6-digit salary, okay, in a developing country like in India, but and you're earning the same 6-digit salary in a country like US. Okay, so but when you, the difference is when you come back to your home country, your spending capacity increases, it actually doubles, triples. Okay, so that's the kind of earning potentials that you have. Okay, so when you're going to go abroad. So now I previously in the poll I saw that almost 75 to 80% of the students are familiar with the admission process. So I believe I'm not speaking to a lot of people who are still speculating to go abroad for your higher studies. So, but the next important thing is, okay, so what factors you need to consider in order to choose your destination. Okay, so this is an important factor because everyone has a dream. So when I was of your age, I did have a dream, but every dream, okay, so comes with a price tag. Okay, so there is a price for everything. So everyone dreams to study in the US. Okay, so because it is one of the stronger economies and the opportunities are much more. Okay, but you need to consider your cost. Okay, so how much you're willing to invest on your higher studies. So that's an important factor that you need to consider when you're choosing your study destination. And other important factors are going to be academics and career. So I put across a chart out here, okay, so with a lot of stars, okay. So here for academics and career, so we have given more stars, okay, so based on the opportunities, okay. So the better the academic opportunities and career opportunities, the more number of stars are awarded. So as you see, okay, so US, okay, and all these countries, okay, so are some of the best destinations for higher study. Reason is because of their academic quality and the career opportunities you're going to get post your higher studies. And third factor is going to be the cost. Okay, cost is an important factor. As I mentioned, for every dream, there is a price tag. Okay, so how much you're willing to spend. So if you have limited budget, okay, so then the destinations that you can choose are going to be Germany or maybe Canada. Okay, so here we have given the stars. Okay, so the lower the cost, the more stars you we have given. Okay, so when you see Germany and Canada, okay, so the stars are more. Okay, so they makes it makes those destinations more favorable for students who have low budget for their higher studies. And Canada especially is a country which not only provides a master's program, which is slightly on the costlier side, they also provide quality postgraduate diploma programs. Okay, so which will make the candidates, okay, so job ready. Okay, so and these PG diploma options are much cheaper when compared to master's program. And in Germany, most of the programs are funded by the government. Okay, they're all public universities. And US, okay, so the cost can be slightly on the higher side, but in terms of returns, the returns are much better in the US. And scholarship opportunities, again, yeah. So US, you have better opportunities of scholarships. And in Canada, okay, so you see, so when you're opting for a thesis-oriented program, that is like when there is a research component in your studies, okay, so your opportunities of getting a scholarship is better, okay. And Germany, yeah, so instead of scholarships, okay, so the entire tuition fee is going to be funded by the university in most of the cases, okay. And of course, there's going to be some catch, okay, you shouldn't be changing your majors and other things. So apart from these factors, okay, so that you can consider for choosing your destination, another factor, okay, you can keep in mind is your long-term goal. Okay, so you have any long-term goals of settling abroad? Okay, so you're looking for any permanent residency opportunities, then we will suggest you to choose Canada and Australia, so which encourages international people to settle down in their country. okay, when compared to other countries. So keep these things in mind, okay, and choose your destinations. And again, I'm iterating on the fact, okay, so cost is going to be important. Okay, so based on everything, okay, so choose your study destinations. And now you have decided, okay, where you need to study. Okay, now the important thing is you need to think through what will universities will consider. Okay, so when they're reviewing your application and taking a decision. Okay, and we have jotted out a few points here. Okay, so in most universities abroad, okay, they don't get carried away with just one aspect of your profile. Okay, so they're going to take an holistic approach. They're going to look into several other aspects of your profile. Okay, and but the most important aspect they're going to look into is your ACADS. Okay, so that is your CGPA or your GPA. Okay, so ACADS plays a very important role. But having said that, okay, so they're not going to get carried away just with your ACADS. So they will take a holistic decision based on other factors. For example, so you have a CGPA which is 7 or a little lower than 7. Okay, so they're going to consider how good your GRE scores are. Okay, if you're a candidate who's targeting the US. Okay, so they're going to check how much your GRE score is. Okay, and your internship opportunities, your internship experiences, how many years of internship experience you have. And when someone is going to think like, is it a must to have internship and research experiences? Okay, so for students who don't have any work experience, it would be nice to have some internship experience to boost your profile. And when you're looking for internship opportunities, see to it, it is for a duration of at least 3 months. Okay, so these a lot of we come across a lot of resumes with 1 month internship experience and stuff. Okay, so but it's not going to help much. Okay, so bare minimum. Okay, so at least have a 2 month internship experience. Okay, but I would ideally suggest you to have a 3 month internship experience, and those internships numbers can be different. And research. Okay, especially students who are targeting PhD programs or some of the top universities, okay, in the globe. Okay, you need to understand you're going to compete with students coming from premium engineering institutes across the globe. Okay, and for you to have an edge, okay, over the other applicants, okay, it would be good you have a research experience. And apart from these, okay, so the other documents they're going to that's going to add value to your application is your statement of purpose and your letter of recommendations. So I will be taking you through these documents a little later during this session. Okay, so but keep these things in mind. Okay, so don't get disheartened, okay, or demotivated because your CGPA is less. Okay, so focus on other areas of your profile. Okay, so which will drastically improve your overall profile. And trust me, I've seen students, okay, with 6.9 CGPA, if I remember correctly. Okay, so add a GRE score of 320 plus, okay, getting into Carnegie Mellon. Okay, so later towards this session, okay, I will take you through some of the students' profile very quickly so you will get an understanding. And so keep these things in mind and start working towards it. Okay, and when you need to start working towards it is going to be an important question. Okay, so when to start? Okay, so if there are any people, any students out here who just started their engineering or in the second year of your engineering, so you guys have any idea when to start your admission process? Okay, so you can start straight away. Okay, so I've just put across a general thumb rule here for students. Okay, so to estimate like when they need to start. There are two major intakes. One is the fall and the spring intake. And the upcoming intake is the fall intake. So currently we are working on applications for our spring 24 students, and it's not the right time for students to start with spring 24 admissions. Okay, so you guys have to focus on the fall 24 or the intake after fall 24. Okay, so for any intake, okay, so the thumb rule is, okay, try to start your admission process at least 10 months before your program start date. Okay, fall is a major intake and the programs normally start in August or September every year. and for which you need to start your admission process, that is, which includes your test preparation and everything. Okay, so at least 10 months before the program start date. Okay, and if you're in the second year of your engineering, okay, don't worry. So this is the right time because you have more time with you. Okay, so but unfortunately, if any of the attendees here are in your final year, okay, so I would say like buckle up, okay, and speed up the entire process because we are already in the month of September. Okay, and if there are students who are targeting Canada, okay, so I would say at least a year before the program start date, okay, start your process because Canada is going to be very, very competitive because of the less number of university options that you have. And students who are targeting PhD programs, again, okay, PhD, okay, so unlike the US, okay, US, you can directly make an application. Okay, so but in other countries, it is more like looking for a job. Okay, so you need to email your research mentors, okay, try to connect with them and have an interview, and so they're able to understand your research experience, how you can contribute to their ongoing research. Okay, so there are a lot of work that has to happen. So try to start your process at least a year before your PhD program starts. And now having understood the timeline, okay, so the reason why you need to start your admission process as early as possible, at least 10 months before the program start date is, so you will have that advantage of being an early applicant. Okay, so what does it mean to be an early applicant? You see, so a lot of universities have two different deadlines. Okay, so one is called a priority deadline, and another is called a regular deadline. Okay, and students who apply before the priority deadline, so their applications are considered more for scholarships and funding. Okay, and another important advantage is, as it is all first come first serve basis. Okay, so if you're going to apply early, you have that slight advantage, especially students with tricky profiles, not exceptional profile, not too bad a profile. Okay, so but in the middle. Okay, so those kind of a tricky profiles, if you're going to apply early, okay, so I'm sure, okay, trust me, you're going to have an advantage over the other applicants. So try to buckle up, and if you're focusing the fall 24, okay, so see to it, okay, so you speed up your pace with respect to your admission process. And I mentioned to you earlier about GRE. Okay, so GRE is a very important component, especially when you're targeting countries like US or the Singapore. Okay, other countries are more academic centric. Okay, and GRE is not a mandatory requirement. Okay, so unless and until you're targeting management related programs, that is programs from the business school, or you're targeting some of the top ranked universities. Otherwise, they're majorly academic centric. But when it comes to US, okay, so GRE plays a very important role. Okay, and whatever drawbacks or red flags that you have on your profile, okay, you will be able to compensate for it with a good GRE score. Okay, and more importantly, GRE will be considered, okay, when they are when you're looking for scholarship opportunities. And I've seen students who have started their program and now preparing for their GRE exams. Okay, so in order to get scholarships. Okay, and there are a lot of changes that have happened in GRE. So here we have put across some quick details about the GRE, so you can go through. But the important aspect is, okay, so the GRE pattern has changed. Okay, so that's a drastic reduction in the duration of the exam. And I personally feel, okay, so it's going to be a big plus for students. Okay, so because now it is going to be only a 2-hour exam when compared to a 4-hour exam, which was the previous case. Okay, and what it means, okay, so you see, when I was young, I used to play cricket, and rather than preferring a test cricket, okay, I'm more competent when I play a 2020 cricket, okay, a short over cricket match. You understood? Okay, so the shorter the duration, okay, it's going to make it more stress-free. Okay, and trust me, you guys will be able to do well, okay, if you're going to prepare well for the GRE. Okay, and Galvanize, yeah, so we have a very comprehensive preparation program with top-notch content. Okay, so a lot of analytics for you to understand uh, how you're improving, how you're progressing, where you stand, when to give your actual tests and everything. Okay, so I will take you through those things a little later in this session. And so keep in mind, okay, so GRE is going to be important and ideal time. Okay, so you see, so GRE is going to be valid for 5 years. Okay, so so you can give it considering like whenever your academic load or workload for working professionals, whenever it is less, you can consider to prepare for the GRE. And ideally, like 2 to 3 months of preparation should be sufficient. Okay, so but someone was pretty bad in quant. Okay, so you need to spend more time. Okay, and verbal, especially, okay, it's going to be pretty tough in GRE. And verbal skills are not something that you can develop overnight. Okay, so starting your preparations early will help you to build your GRE vocabulary. And since it is valid for 5 years, understand, set your goals when you're going to travel abroad for your higher studies, and accordingly start your GRE preparations. And uh, and the reasons for giving the GRE, as I mentioned, okay, so if there are any red flags in your profile, GRE with a good GRE score, you will be able to compensate for it. And moreover, okay, so it helps you in getting scholarships. And when students are looking for student loans, okay, so GRE again plays an important role. Okay, so there are lenders who provide student loans. Okay, so when pre-approved loans based on the student's GRE score. Okay, so bare minimum, you guys have to be targeting somewhere around 305. Anything less than 300, okay, so it's not a very presentable score. Okay, so 300, 300, more than 305, okay, makes your score more presentable. But the higher the GRE score, the better it's going to be for you. And with respect to TOEFL and IELTS, so these are more like English proficiency tests. They're going to test your English language proficiency. These are very basic requirements for your admission. Okay, so it is not something that's going to decide your admission, but it's a very basic requirement. And TOEFL and IELTS, again, TOEFL is governed by ETS, which governs the GRE. Okay, and they've also made a lot of rigorous changes to the TOEFL test pattern as well, making it less stress-free for students. And both GRE and TOEFL are available for students to take from home. But I will suggest students to give it at the test center. Okay, so which has more credibility. And otherwise, okay, TOEFL and English, they're going to test 4 different aspects of your English language skills. So one is reading, another is speaking, listening, and then your writing skills. Okay, and it's a bare minimum requirement, but it does play a role when you're especially applying for scholarships. Okay, so you see, so later I will take you through what different scholarships are available. So the TOEFL and the IELTS, okay, so they're important when you're targeting a teaching assistantship. The better your TOEFL scores are, okay, so your opportunities are better when you're applying for a TA, that is a teaching assistantship. And one important change in the TOEFL is that when students are especially targeting Canada, okay, a lot of students used to prefer to give the IELTS. Okay, so because IELTS was the only English proficiency test that was accepted for the student visa process, but now things have changed. TOEFL is also accepted for student visa in Canada. Okay, so which means irrespective of which country you're going to target, okay, based on your comfort level. Okay, so some people say like TOEFL is easier than IELTS. Some say IELTS is better than TOEFL. Okay, but I leave the choice to you. Whatever you feel whatever you're confident about. If you're comfortable with TOEFL, go with TOEFL. If you're comfortable with IELTS, go with IELTS. But whatever test you wanted to go for, okay, so we are here to help you out, okay, with a very comprehensive program for both your TOEFL as well as your IELTS preparations. So these are the different aspects that I told you. So and now, okay, so I think it's time for the second poll. So Ramya.
Yes, the poll
Okay, so how would you like to prepare for the standardized test? Okay, self-preparation 100%, in-person live class, and online course with structured, personalized plans. Okay. Cool. So I see almost like 45 percentage. Okay, so looking for to prepare by themselves. Okay, so for those students like who would like to prepare by themselves, just a quick thought. Okay, if you're able to prepare by yourself and get to a score of 315, and if you take some professional help and get to a score of 320, I'm pretty sure you guys are not going to restrict yourself from taking that professional help. So keep that in mind. So end of the day, the choice is yours. Okay, and so I see almost 33% of the students would like to have an online course with a structured, personalized study plan. So for these students, okay, so Galvanize would, I think, would be the right place for you. Okay, for your to start with your test preparations. So now let's go through the other aspects of your application that is required. So the other documents is going to be the statement of purpose and your letter of recommendation. So statement of purpose. Okay, so I really love writing statement of purposes. Okay, so it's because I like to write stories. Okay, so because I used to tell a lot of stories to my wife. Okay, I mean lies. Okay, so but having said that, okay, so SOP is a great opportunity for students to talk about their journey so far. Okay, so what their experiences have made them. Okay, so where it is leading them and why they would like to do a master's now. Okay, so all this is going to contribute to their overall growth. Okay, so you need to talk about this on your SOP, and it needs to be compelling for the panel to read through. And the most important compelling factor is going to be the length of your SOP. Okay, so we will be working with you, okay, in order to make your statement of purpose as compelling as possible. Okay, and we have a very unique way of drafting SOPs for our students. Okay, so maybe if you have a call with during your profile evaluation, so maybe one of my counselor can take you through on how we are going to help you with your statement of purpose. Okay, we have a very unique way of working on statement of purposes. So apart from telling your story, okay, your success story, okay, so SOP is also an opportunity to address some of the red flags in your profile. Okay, so say for example, your CGPA is little on the lower side. Okay, so you have an academic gap, a career gap. Okay, so or you have gone through some financial situation. Okay, so and things like that. So SOP will be a great opportunity for you to address those issues. Okay, so it is not just talking about your success. Okay, you can also talk about the reasons for your failures, but important thing is, okay, so don't make it look like a sob story. Okay, so see to it. Okay, you very subtly mention about the drawbacks and how you have overcome it. Okay, so you need to make the negatives to look positive. You understood? The way you articulate, okay, your experience is very important. And don't worry, so we are going to work with you, okay, so on your SOPs as well. And recommendation letters, so these are another important document. Okay, so when you're identifying your recommenders, see to it they are in a senior position. Okay, so for example, okay, you're applying for a master's in machine learning. Okay, so if you have a senior faculty who has got good research experience in machine learning, okay, so the person's LOR will certainly add a lot of value. Okay, so when you if you're a student, okay, so you need to identify recommenders who have taught you any particular subject, or you can it can be a project guide, or if you have an internship experience, it can be an internship guide. And if you're a working professional with too many years of experience, okay, so then you can dump your college experience and focus in getting your recommendation letters from your current and your previous workplace, okay, for employers. But when you're identifying your recommenders, see to it they had been in some supervisory position for you. They were not your classmates or your teammates. Okay, so you should have reported to your recommender. So only then they become qualified to give a recommendation for you. Okay, so these are some quick tips. Okay, so for you to keep in mind. Okay, when you are identifying your recommenders. Okay, and there are other aspects as well. Okay, so you need to keep in mind while filling your online application forms, okay, and filling the recommenders details. Okay, so we will be giving you assistance. Okay, so when you guys come to that stage of making applications to the universities. So now, okay, so we discussed a bit about the different aspects university is going to consider in your application. And now the most important factor is scholarship and funding. Okay, so funding your higher studies is very, very important. Okay, and you need to decide on your universities based on your budget. Okay, otherwise, okay, so you will get into a position, okay, so where you will not be able to fund your higher studies. Okay, and the three common funding options are going to be the financial aid that you can get from universities, and the other is educational loan, and then personal and family funds. And student loan is something very popular. Okay, a lot of students go for an educational loan because the co-sponsorer will have some tax benefits as well. So let's now go through the different scholarship opportunities. So there are four different scholarships available. So one is fellowship, another is teaching assistantship, another is third one is research assistantship, and finally it is the graduate assistantship. A fellowship, okay, so you're not going to spend a single penny. The university is going to take care of all your expenses. So you can assume, so what kind of a profile you should have. Okay, so you should be one of those best students for that particular intake. And teaching assistantship, as I mentioned, okay, so the higher your English language test scores are, the better opportunities you will have when you're approaching a faculty for a teaching assistantship. And research assistantship are for students who are interested in research activities. Okay, and both teaching and research assistantships will be mostly covering the tuition fees of the students. Okay, and apart from that, they are also given some stipend, okay, to take care of their living expenses. And the last type of scholarship is the graduate assistantship. So here you're not going to assist a faculty with teaching, like in a teaching assistantship, or you're going to assist a faculty with research, but you're going to assist the faculty with administrative work. Okay, so that's called a graduate assistantship. Okay, and when compared to TA and RA, GAs are slightly easier to get. And so now we have listed some of our. So this is not our student. Okay, so she is the one who takes care of all our students. Okay, but previously, long ago, so she was a student at Stanford. Her name is Pavitra, and she is the founder of Galvanize Global Education. So she was awarded a fellowship at Stanford. Okay, so you can understand her brain. Okay, so she's the backbone for the brain for Galvanized Global Education. So we have just put across the fellowship letter she has received from Stanford, and then we have Valerie. Okay, so she has received a teaching assistantship. So as I mentioned previously, have a look at her TOEFL scores. So she has a 119. Okay, and undoubtedly, like she has a teaching assistantship as well. So so this is a letter of teaching assistantship that's been awarded to the student. And we have Tasim Ahmed, okay, so from Bangladesh, okay, who is into Texas Arlington. So he has experience as working as a professor in academia. Okay, and he has been received a research assistantship of $2,100. And this is the letter for your reference. And so your chances of getting a scholarship, okay, so will be better if if you have done well in your accounts, okay, and if you have a very good GRE score. And as I mentioned, the English test scores, okay, if you're looking for a teaching assistantship, and other aspects like the statement of purpose, okay. But most important is going to be your academic and your GRE scores if you're targeting US, okay. And for other countries, okay, you can focus on building your improving your GPA and building your profile by involving yourself in research activities, which will improve your chances of getting a scholarship. And now, so plan A is getting funding from the university and plan B is getting an educational loan. So currently, don't worry about the loan too much. Okay, so we can help you with universities. Okay, even if you don't have a collateral and if you don't have a strong co-applicant. Okay, so there are so many lenders and options available for students. Okay, so the better your admit, the better your chances of getting a loan. So as I mentioned you before, with a good GRE score, okay, so there are lenders who can provide you pre-approved loans as well. Okay, so but the loan is the last thing, and it will automatically fall in place if you have a very good admit. Okay, trust me. Okay, the better the university admit you have, okay, the educational loan process will sail through very smoothly for you guys. And how can Galvanize help you? Okay, so we actually provide end-to-end solutions for the entire process, right from your test preparation to your admission counseling services. Here, I'm going to take you through how the admission counseling process is going to work. So once you sign up for the service, we are going to onboard you. Okay, so we are going to assign to a counsellor. You will be assigned to a counselor like me, who will thoroughly evaluate your profile, understand where you how you can build your profile and give you the required recommendations. And then, okay, so based on your profile and your preferences, like your budget, your program of choice, we are going to shortlist universities for you. And we have a separate editorial team. Okay, so we're going to work very closely with you with respect to the documentation work. And finally, once you get to that stage of where you have received all admits and now you need to decide which admit to go with for your visa process. So your counselors will be working very closely with you on the visa counseling services. And apart from that, we provide value-added services as well. Okay, it's going to be end-to-end. Okay, so right from your test preparations to your student loans and even pre-departure activities like booking your tickets, finding accommodation, and various other services. So I think it's time for the third poll. Ramya?
Yes, sir. So we have the third poll where we would like to understand how students would like to, from whom they would like to seek assistance for their admission process. And some of the options that we have is friends and families, seniors from college, study abroad consultants, and self-prep. So I think it's juggling between all the four options. And yes, so with that, we would like to end the poll. And I see most of the students are looking for study abroad consultants. And with that, I would hand over Raghuvi to take the session ahead.
Thanks, Ramya. That's great. Okay, so for choosing some professionals to help you with the entire admission process. Okay, so and those people who are still speculating whether to take some professional help, I will strongly suggest you to take that professional help. And you can also take this call, okay, after having a free profile evaluation call with one of our counselors. Okay, so my colleague will post a link on the chat box. Okay, so you can register yourself for the free profile evaluation call and see to it. Okay, so you have at least 30 minutes with you. Okay, so to have a discussion with the counselor so they can evaluate your profile and guide you on how to approach your admission process. Okay, so my colleague will post the link for registration on the chat box soon. Okay, and now in the meantime, let's move to the other slides. Okay, so as I mentioned to you guys before, okay, so we have put across some of our students' success stories. Okay, so we have RNE. Okay, so you see, so we have a mixture of students. Okay, right from 9.6 CGPA, 8. Okay, so US and various different countries, Europe. Okay, Canada. Okay, UK. Okay, so here you see, so we are not just helping students with good accounts and good profiles. Okay, so we have students with tricky profiles like 297 GRE, overall GPA of only at 3. Okay, you see, so I've talked about the kind of power GRE scores as. So the student has a 7.9, but a GRE score of 320 and got into UPenn. Okay, and don't worry about what your current profile is. So for every profile, there is an option available for you. Okay, so the only important thing is you need to think through this very rationally, understand what is feasible, okay, and take a rational approach towards your admission process. Okay, and setting up this free profile evaluation call will give you a lot of insights. Okay, so on what could be a more rational path for you to take in order to identify and apply to the universities. So these are some of our students. Okay, so Dhruva Kanwar. Okay, so he's in Australia. Okay, so you name any country. Okay, so we have put our students out there. Okay, so just like ISRO. Okay, so putting the Chandrayaan. Okay, on the moon. Okay, so we have landed all our students. Okay, so almost everywhere in the globe. Okay, so that's about Galvanize. Okay, so and Ramya, so would you like to take through the services?
Yes, yes, sure. Thank you, Raghuveer, for sharing so much details with the students out there. And so, Raghuveer, I'd like to share the screen out here, and I would like to talk a little bit about how Galvanize can help students. And I would like to give you a short break so that you could take a short break, and then we will be taking up the Q&A session as well.
No, so once you're done with this, okay, so I will take the students through some of the tools that we are using. Okay, so for the admission process. So
Right.
We have some tools like the student insight generator, and I would also like to take through the students through our portal, how we can help them with the entire process.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I would request students to stay back because this is something which is very important, which will also give you a clear picture as to how exactly the process looks, though it looks easy, but it has got immense of activities out there. And with that, I would quickly like to take a tour on how Galvanize can help. So as you could see that we do have our courses available online, and we have for GRE, IELTS, TOEFL, and as Raghuveer said, we have the admission counseling as well. But some of the perks and advantages that I would like to talk about when it comes to taking an expert help, like Galvanize, what happens is with respect to your test preparations, you get a personalized study plan. You also have extensive practice sessions, practice questions for you to become a little bit expert on this GRE, IELTS, TOEFL courses out there. And not only that, you will also have an updated backend, because I just saw that some of the students had asked about whether I should go for the GRE old pattern or the new one which is there. So don't worry, even if you go for the new version, you will have updated test preparations at Galvanize with most affordable rate with expert guidance out there. And this is the admission process that just Raghuveer shared. And here I would request Raghuveer if you can, take a tour for our students and help them understand as to how each step works at Galvanize, which will give them a clear picture, and they could start with their process out there. So Raghuveer, would you like to share your screen and show the portal here?
Sure, Ramya. So is my screen visible to everyone?
Yes, sir. It's visible. Yes.
Okay, so probably can we pick someone? Okay, so from the audience, okay, to share about their profile. Okay, so and I can kind of take them through how this tool works. Okay, so actually, like we use this tool, okay, in helping students in building their profiles. Okay, so we identify students that we have worked in the past with a similar profile, and we would we would we have a huge data of all our past admits. Okay, we try to match the existing students with our past admits, and see like how we can help them in building their profiles. Okay, so but in order to get benefited with that, okay, so you guys should have actually started your admission process much earlier. Okay, if there are people out here who are going to start in fall 24, okay, so there is less time to build your profiles. Okay, so I'll be very honest with you. Okay, so Ramya, so can we pick someone from the audience? Okay, and you can let me know like which student profile we need to I can use here.
Hi, Raghu.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Sahil is there to help us out here. And Sahil, can we help with a student who can
And
ask?
yeah, Sakal, so can you just share me the student's profile so as they share it with you?
Yeah, Raghu. So there's a question from student called Kailash. Okay.
Your voice is very low, Sakal.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
So there's a student name called Kailash who have asked a question like, I have completed my undergrad from IIT Madras
Okay.
with 8.5 GPA in mechanical engineering.
1 minute, Sagal. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you mentioned the student completed his undergraduate from IIT.
IIT Madras. Yeah.
IIT Madras. Okay. And what was the student's major?
Mechanical engineering.
Okay. And is also targeting mechanical engineering?
No. He is interested to go for US for MS in mechanical or aerospace engineering.
Okay. And you mentioned the country to be as US.
Yes.
Okay. So and what's the name of the student?
Kailash.
Kailash. Okay. So Kailash, so my colleague has shared your information. So what we have for you, so we have designed this tool to understand. Okay, so students with a profile like yours. Okay, so where they are more likely to get an admit. Okay, and if they have received the admit. Okay, so what was their profile like? Okay, so yeah. So you see, so these are some of our students. Okay, so from IIT Madras. Okay, so who have received. Okay, so they've received their admits. Okay, in the mechanical engineering department. Okay, and you see, so their GRE is around 322, 327, and English test scores, and they have got into okay, so mechanical engineering, and you mentioned that it's United States, right, Sakal? Okay, so the student has got into Michigan, Ann Arbor, Purdue, UIUC, Texas A&M College Station, Ohio State University. All these are some of the top ranked universities in the US. Okay, so when there are a lot of other data as well that we have, so based on which we will be able to guide our current students to build their profile so they're able to get a similar admit. Okay, so this is and apart from that, there are other tools as well that we use. And let me quickly walk you through on how your portal looks like. Okay, so you see, so we are a very tech-based company. Okay, so and we have developed our own in-house portal. Okay, so to deliver all our services right from test preparation to admission counseling services. So every student who signs up for our admission or test preparation, they are going to be given access to their portal where they can go through the test materials, their study plan, okay, mock test and everything. And for the admission counseling process, okay, so 1 minute, I need some help. Um, so 1 minute, guys, okay, I just need some help. I wanted to move to this portal which is there in this How do I minimize that bar? Okay, 1 minute. 1 minute. Okay, cool. Fine. So let me quickly walk you through the Galvanize portal. So this is the portal for which students are going to be given access. Okay. So there are close to 1,915 students in this portal. I've already opened the profiles of some of our students. So once you sign up, okay, so initially you're going to fill something called a profile form. Okay, so which is going to capture every detail about your profile. Okay, so here we have written all the personal details of the student. So you can see the intake the student is targeting. Okay, is reasons for choosing these majors. Okay, and so this student has actually signed up for the test preparation as well. So we know like what the student's average scores are. And based on the average scores, okay, so and you see, so the student has booked this exam on 13th of September. I wish all of you here are going to wish good luck to this kid. Okay, so he has booked his GRE on 13th of September, and these are his mock scores. And accordingly, the admission counselor has identified some universities for him for free score, GRE score reporting purposes. And TOEFL, he has booked it on 7th of October. And based on his actual GRE test scores, the university options will change for the student for before he gives his TOEFL. And you can go through, okay, so he's from NIT, Meghalaya, okay, and all his details about his profile has been captured. So this is the part of the onboarding process. We capture every detail of the student. And once this is done, the student is assigned with the admission counselor who is going to analyze the profile, and accordingly, okay, so they're going to shortlist universities. So students, okay, so you will be able to see these tabs on the left side of your portal. And if you click on applications, so you can go through the universities that have been shortlisted for you. So these are the applications, universities that's been shortlisted for a student by name Ari Aran. Okay, so and the student has said like he's going to apply for these universities, and yeah, so yes, apply to University of Arizona, and he has accepted the offer. Okay, so this is a old student, I guess. Okay, so and this is about the application stamp. And when it comes to editorial work, okay, so that happens in the stamp called essays. Okay, here we are currently working with Rajesh on his documents. So it is all driven through the portal. So you can see here, okay, so this icon which will say how many iterations a student is eligible to take. Okay. So we have a very unique way of helping students with their documents. So we don't literally write their statement of purposes. So we have formulated a Google form, okay, and we capture the students' writing style and their inputs. And based on their inputs, we will come out with a draft in their own writing style. Okay, and then we will further iterate it. Okay, so and then finalize the document. For SOP, you see, so there are 5 iterations left. Okay, which means the student will have the opportunity to review the editor's work, okay, up to 5 times before finalizing the document. And these are the main documents that are required for your application. But we are not going to stop with just these documents. So once you finalize the universities, for each and every university, we are going to help you with all the essays that are required for your application. Okay, so it is not just SOP, we will help you with personal statement, diversity statement, scholarship essay. So whatever essays are required for your applications, we are going to help you with that. Okay, so this is about our portal and the different tools that we use in order to help our students in identifying the right universities. So, Ramya, I think I'm pretty much done, and I'm good to take questions. So, if you don't have anything from your end.
Yes, sir. So we are now open to the Q&A session. But when I see at the Q&A session, a lot of students have been asked profile-based questions, and I would request if you could, fill in the profile evaluation form so that you can have a conversation with our experts and understand what are the shortcomings in your profile and how you can overcome that. The link for the profile evaluation has been shared in the chat box, and if not, I have freezed my screen here, and I would request you to make a note of the link or just fill in the form which is there, because profile evaluation is actually a part of the entire admission process that we do, wherein we understand a student's profile, and based on which we help them with the steps that they need to take for their admissions to their dream university out there. um, but as I said, students can fill in the free profile evaluation form, the link that has been shared in the chat box, and they can have a conversation with the experts and understand what are the shortcomings that they have, and quickly start with their process for their upcoming fall season out there. So, Raghu, sir, would you like to take some of the questions out there?
Yeah, so if you can, I'm just not able to figure out the questions. So if you can help me with the questions, I can quickly answer them.
Sure. So a student is asking for fall 2024, when to take the GRE and TOEFL.
Well, what's the student's name? Saish Joshi.
Yes, we have Saish Joshi.
Saish Joshi, you're not too early. Okay, so ideally, okay, you should have already given your GRE test. Okay, so but nevertheless, okay, the changes to the GRE is happening this month. Okay, so try to give your test this month. Okay, and I do not know like where you are with your admission process, whether you're a college student, whether or not. Okay, so but try to accommodate it and give it as early as possible, maximum by October. Okay, so try to give your GRE.
Great. Thank you so much, Raghu sir. So we have one student who's mentioned that he has filled in the profile evaluation form, but he hasn't got any call from us. Well, Janak, I would request you to give us some time, because once the session is over, we will for sure get in touch with you and understand your profile and help you out there. So request you to please give us some time so that we can give you a call back out there. And also,
I think my colleague has been answering a lot of questions. Okay,
yes.
so that's nice. Okay, to get some support.
So yes, sir, we have
Any
one
questions
question.
unanswered?
Yes, there's one question which is unanswered, and here it goes. We have a question from Amrita. How extensive should your research work and experience be ideally? Any minimum number of papers or good conferences you should have under your belt?
Great. Okay, so when it comes to research, it is important you have published it in an international journal. Okay, so a lot of people have review papers submitted. Okay, so it is best you have a research paper published in an international journal. And you see, so nowadays a lot of universities made this research publication a part of their curriculum. Okay, and a lot of students post their publish their papers. Okay, so in forums which are not very popular. Okay, so I want you to be careful in selecting the forums for publishing your research papers, and anything more than one, okay, will be good. But when you're looking for PhD options and research assistantship options, or targeting some top ranked universities, try to have at least one research paper published in an international journal.
Great. Thank you, sir. So we have students who have been asking if it is only for Indian students that Galvanize helps, or the webinar is about. So to the students who have asked those questions, we do help students globally. So irrespective of from if you are from India or from other countries, we do help students out there. And in that case, I would request you to please fill in the profile evaluation form, so that we come to know your background and we can help you accordingly out there.
I'm currently in, so Muthu Arvind Murugan, I'm currently in final year BTech Computer Science 8.3. I'm planning for 2026 with 2 years work experience. Oh, yeah, so that's a good option, Muthu. Okay, so you can save some money, okay, working, okay, and you can use that for your higher education. Okay, so but do not delay. Okay, so for everything, okay, for all our goals, so I personally believe like we need to start it somewhere. Okay, so take the first step and start with your preparation. Okay, so if you're planning to work for the next 2 years, okay, you can aram say relaxedly prepare for the next 5-6 months for your GRE. Okay, give a good test. Okay, and then you can continue with your work. Okay, so that will be my take. So this is not just for Indian students. Okay, so we are global and we have students across the globe. Okay, so a lot of Asian countries, European countries, we have our students. Okay, so you can log into our website to check their testimonials. Okay. And Nandu, I'm currently in final MCA student. I want to go abroad around 2025 fall. When should I take GRE or IELTS exams? You see, IELTS and TOEFL are valid for 2 years. Okay, so 2025. Okay, so 2024, you need to start your admission process. Okay, so since GRE is valid for 5 years, you can start off with GRE, and once you're done with GRE, you can plan for your IELTS. Okay, so I think I've answered this question of Amrita. So,
Yes. So we have one question. How can you share scholarship opportunities for finance degrees in USA and Canada?
can you share scholarship? You see, so every application that you make, okay, are going to be eligible for scholarships. Okay, and since you mentioned Canada, when you're looking for programs in Canada, see to it there is a research component in the program. So you have scholarship opportunities from the university. USA, okay, so yeah, so there are non-thesis as well, but there are scholarships available. Okay, but when you're very focused on getting scholarship, try to go for a research-oriented program. Okay, so which means there is a thesis component instead of just a project or internship. Okay, so in which month I want to take? Okay, so any other questions, Ramya? Do you have a counseling provision? We counsel students for any study destination. Okay, I've shared you some of the testimonials, okay, of students from US, Canada, UK, Europe, Netherlands, Australia. Okay, there are a lot of other destinations where we have helped our students. So you can log into our website, okay, so to go through in detail.
So I think almost all the questions have been answered, but in case students are unable to, who feel that,
So what is this question, Ramya? So Jonathan Kasai.
Yes. So the question, I'll just share. So he says that he wants to apply for fall 24 in USA with aerospace engineering. Till when should I take the GRE is what the student's question.
A similar question I answered for another student. Okay, so September, the changes are happening for the GRE test. Okay, so so try to give the test by October. Okay, so November, you should be ready to make your applications. In case if anything goes wrong with your GRE, so you will have some time to appear for the test again. Okay, so try to give your test end of September or mid or beginning of October. Okay, that should be ideal. Okay, again, largely depends on your profile and other things. Okay, so if you have a little tricky GPA, okay, accordingly, we will be able to suggest you on when to give your GRE and all. Okay, so I think it will be best. Okay, so if you have a one-to-one profile evaluation call with us, it's going to be free. So don't hesitate. Okay, so have a call. Okay, and understand like how you can approach your admission process. And any other questions, Ramya?
No, so I think almost all of them we have answered. So I see a lot of questions are more with respect to a profile and also how galvanized courses fee structure is. Well, in that case, if you remember earlier, I had mentioned that we do have a offer as well for our admission counseling services. So if you would like to know how galvanize can help and what are the fee structure for same, please do fill in the profile evaluation form so that once the session is over, our experts will get in touch with you. They will also share the offer details and how much Galvanize will be for your admission counseling services. And also make best of this profile evaluation so that you can entirely discuss your profile, understand what are the shortcomings, and get all your doubts cleared in one-on-one session with the experts out there. So just give us some time. Once the session is over, we will get in touch with you for all the students who have filled in the profile evaluation, and we would be glad to help you out there. And if there are any more questions, we just have last couple of minutes. And with that, I would also request if Raghu sir would like to say a few words for students today.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so so I really like to appreciate everyone. Okay, so because normally on a weekend evening, okay, so I don't find a lot of students spending their time so productively. Okay, so I wish every one of you very good luck. Okay, so it's been great. Okay, so to be a part of this session and was able to share some of my insights. Okay, and I hope it will be helpful for them. And I wish every one of them very good luck for the future. And thank you so much, Ramya, for hosting the session.
Thank you so much once again, Raghu sir, for joining us today. This session is very important because I believe this is the first step that students really have to take a look at when they're planning for the next upcoming fall season intake. And this is a very important session which gives them the guideline of when they're supposed to apply, what are the documents, requirements, and everything. And I believe the session has been really helpful for all the students out there. And as we're running, yes, sir, absolutely. Would you like to take some questions?
Yeah, so I see some students. So one by name Siona. So I've tried contacting multiple supervisors in Canada, 4 to 5 years. Them have been responding with no funding opportunities. You see, so we need to understand, so Siona, so we need to understand a little more about your profile, about your qualification and where you stand with your academic performance. Okay, so without which we will not be able to guide you properly. Okay, so I want you to take advantage of that free profile evaluation. Okay, so speak to our counselors. So it's because it largely depends, like I can understand, I get a feeling that you're looking for funding opportunities, and only based on your profile, we will be able to guide you, Siona. Okay, so do register for the profile evaluation call. And Kavin Kumar, fall admission and 20, should the research be... This is a nice question, Kavin. So not necessarily you should have published the paper, okay, so but at least, okay, if you can start off, and we can mention it as an ongoing work on your resume, okay, but if it is published, you can understand, okay, so it has more weightage. You understood? And there are a lot of students who have applied for patents as well. Okay, so and they are waiting for the approvals. Okay, we can use all these things to boost your profile, okay, in your resume. But if you have those appropriate certifications, it will add to your credibility. You understood? And Nandu wants to study MS in AI in Germany. Okay, so which test I want to take? Okay, so Germany is a very academic centric country, Nandu. Okay, so you need to have good academic records. Okay, and English language test should work for you. Okay, so not many universities require a GRE. And how to make profile? Okay, so Jonathan. Okay, so Jonathan, so we have posted the profile evaluation link on the chat box, so you can register yourself. So did we need for bachelor's? Okay, did we need a research paper? You see, so bachelor's, yeah, so you can involve in so many profile building activities. Okay, so whether you're targeting a bachelor's degree or a master's degree, having research experience and other experience is certainly going to boost your profile. So do you provide assistance regarding GRE physics? Arshil, unfortunately, we don't provide help with subject GREs. Okay, so we provide help with the general GRE only. Some standard books that we have to refer good GRE. Okay, so the standard book, so Venkata, so the standard book that I would recommend you is Galvanize, the book that we have developed. Okay, so you can sign up for our service and go through that book. Okay, so it's a real good book. Okay, so I'm just going with my students' feedback about the GRE and the IELTS courses. For both GRE and IELTS is needed. No, Nandu, as I mentioned, GRE is not a mandatory requirement for Germany except for some top-ranked universities. Okay, and we can decide whether you need a GRE or not only based on your profile. Okay, so go for the profile evaluation call. So there are some colleges in Canada which don't require IELTS. Absolutely. So Akila, so there are universities which don't require English language test. So probably you can get a offer letter from them. But when you're applying for your visa, okay, so in order to process your visa under the STS category, okay, so which has better approval rates, okay, you need to have IELTS score, okay, or a TOEFL score. Okay, so you see, if my mom is going to, if I'm going to ask my mom 1,000 rupees and my mom is giving me 2,000 bucks, okay, I'm not going to say no to my mother. You understood? Okay, so the more you can do for yourself, okay, the better it is going to be for you. Okay, if the university doesn't require IELTS, but you have IELTS, that's going to be to your advantage. If a university doesn't require a GRE, but you have a GRE, okay, so that's going to be for your advantage only. So you have the time, okay, so where else you're going to invest your time into? Okay, so build your profile, okay, so by having good English test scores and good GRE scores. And I have recently gone on my SAT exam. Can I get scholarship in, I think, Srijan, so I mostly deal with the MS, PhD programs. Okay, so I think I'm pretty much done, Ramya.
Yes, sir, sure. Thank you so much for answering the questions. And for the students, I believe this is something, a very interactive session, and we will have more and more questions coming in. But unfortunately, due to less time that we have, we would really request you to fill in the profile evaluation form so that we could get in touch with you and help you out there. And anything, sir, Raghu, sir, that you would like to say, talk to us?
Yeah, so probably like if there are any questions that have been unanswered, okay, so you can share me a report, okay, so I can email the students with the answer, okay, so I think we are already, we have taken more time only. Okay, so yeah, so and once again, okay, so thank you everyone for joining the session. Okay, wishing every one of you very good luck. Okay, and Ramya, once again, thank you for hosting the session.
Thank you, sir. And these are our contact details. So in case you would like to drop us an email or you would like to get in touch with us, you could fill in the form or you could just note down the details and we would be glad to help you out there. But we would request you to fill in the form because that will give us a more idea about your profile and help you in a more personalized way. And of course, a quick response out there. So please make best use of this opportunity. And we are very glad that a lot of students have loved this session, and we will be coming up with many more such sessions out there. So in case you would like to know what are the sessions that we are coming up with, please join our WhatsApp community. I will be sharing the link in the chat box. This community, WhatsApp community, will have continuous updates of what are the upcoming sessions that we have at Galvanize. And in case you would like to have a recap of the webinars that Galvanize has conducted, please subscribe to our YouTube channel because you will find all the previous webinars out there. And you could also stop, pause, go back and hear what exactly that was there in the session. So do subscribe to our YouTube channel to know more details about higher education abroad, and also do join our WhatsApp community to know what are the upcoming sessions out there. So with that, we will be ending this session. Once again, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. And we are glad the session was quite helpful and interactive for all of you.
Thank you. Bye, everyone. Bye, Ramya.